Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another week of Dadcast.
With the man,
With the
them.
man.
You boys need to commit to it because you're waiting for each other and it's delaying each time.
Yeah.
Still doing it from home. We are not back in the BCFM studios live just yet. We are hoping to be back in the studios, as soon as it is safe to do so. I know Pat is very keen, and the people at the top of the station are very keen to get us kind of back to normal as soon as possible. For those who don't know, I am Jace, father of two.
I'm Joe, father of four.
I'm Kinney, father of two.
And we are Dadcast with the Mandem, three men just trying to raise the profile of dads, being proud to be dads, spreading positivity and kind of getting those conversations going, whilst coming up with events and trying to look at ways that we can kind of change the narrative and shape how it is that dads play a part in society. Boys, how have we been over the last week, Joe?
Mixed emotions. Lots going on. Lots happening. That's been difficult. Lots happening that has been nice and positive. So yeah, really mixed emotions. Really, I was spent some time with the BBC today for work, talking about the impact of COVID on young people who are the most vulnerable. So that walked around Eastern. That was good. Obviously, there's been a lot going on in the news, which I'm sure we'll touch on, which has been difficult. So yeah, it's been very mixed. How about yourself, Kinney?
Yeah, again, it's been very mixed. There's been a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Just still furloughed. So kind of dealing with that. Homeschooling started back this week, which has been a good kind of distraction. Getting back to some form of routine with the children. That's it really. Trying to enjoy the sun. I'm already black enough as it is, so getting more black. How about you, Jace?
Yeah, it's been a good week for me personally. As we've said, there is stuff going on in the world that is a lot more stressful. But as I've said in previous weeks, like I've been trying to look after my bubble, and my bubble's good. Done a bit of baking with the youngest today, so Nicola's doing childminding, and two of the kids that she's got happen to be her nephews, and the older one and Jess like Minecraft, so they were playing Minecraft. They were happy doing Minecraft, whereas Jada's not really that into it anymore. She don't mind playing it every now and again, but like they're into it. Do you know what I mean? And Jada just kind of likes it. So she was downstairs for a bit, and I was like, oh, do you know what? I've been looking at baking these cookie bars. So I was like, right, let's go. Let's bake. We need to get some light brown sugar. So we quickly popped to the cost cutter, took precautions, got ourselves there, got back. And then, started doing our baking. And I made these Kinder Bar and Kinder Bueno cookie, like, squares. Oh, my Lord.
I seen the pictures.
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
Good. I overspent though because we went to the shops and couldn't find Kinder Bars, couldn't find Kinder Buenos, so I just went on to an online outlet and bought a box of each. We
Standard.
had because I've given some to neighbours. We had like 20 plus spare Kinder Buenos, and as much as Nicola does enjoy a Kinder Bueno, it's one of those things where she doesn't want to end up stuck in the house and eating 20 a day or 20 in a day. Do you know what I mean?
This is the kind of time we can.
You could just do a drive-by and just dash some from my letterbox.
Well, this
Monday
is the thing,
munch,
boys.
isn't it?
This
You know
is
what I
why
mean?
this is why we need to be back in the studio together so we can bring back the Monday munch.
Not impressed.
Don't worry, I've made them, and so many people was messaging me saying like, "Oh, could you deliver those? Are you making any more? How much to get some?" I might have to price up how much it was. This might have to be a little.
Yeah, do it.
Little thing, isn't it?
I'm ready for the Dadcast bake sale when all this is done.
Yeah, man.
Boys,
I'm down.
The last couple of weeks, I've decided to start setting homeworks just so that we kind of look at just more fun ways to look at our week and get things done. Just because everybody knows that COVID-19 is going on. We will go into some of the other stuff that's been going on around the world that is negative, but you need to try and find something to do. Take your mind off it. Do something a bit different to break up the usual schedule. Now, we drew pictures. Now, for those that are listening in and aren't able to see, we're going to do our best to describe our pictures so that we can take you on a journey.
Are we describing our own, or are we going to get someone else to describe the picture that we hold up?
Okay, I like that. So what we'll do then is I will describe Kinney's.
Yep.
Can you describe yours, and then
And I'll describe
you do
yours.
mine, okay? And now I think that is the best way to do this is that Joe, I feel you're the best artist of the three of us. So
So I should go first?
last.
Okay.
So
okay.
wait a minute. So we're going to describe each other's,
Yes.
but then go into more detail. Okay.
Yeah.
On your own. Yeah.
All right.
So Kenny, are you just? We've never drew for each other. Who's the better drawer, me or you? Who's going first? I think the worst should go first.
I think you're definitely a better drawer than me. I'm not a drawer, even though I did enjoy doing this a lot.
Kenny's
you're
up first
definitely a better
then.
Okay. So
I don't
Kenny,
mind going first though.
show us
Yeah,
your
yeah,
picture and
Yeah.
is it Joe
I'm
describing
gonna.
it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and describe it.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if you can see it. It is in pencil, so I don't know if you could see.
Put it right. So for the people who are listening in, we have got a cross in the middle with a crown on the top, 2 crowns, 1 crown on the top. We've got Daddy down the bottom with a big exclamation mark. On each side, we have got some symbols which look potentially Korean, but that might
Yes.
be. Oh, look at me. And they say Imusig and Pane. I can't read that. It's a bit difficult because of the thing. But yeah, we got some symbols. We got a cross in the middle with some spikes. We got a crown, and we got Daddy. Do you want to break it down for us, Kenny?
Okay, so this is kind of like a coat of arms, my family coat of arms, I suppose, a little bit like kind of like a flag in a way. So the top, the top is obviously a crown. It's for the queen, which is Sherelle, my wife. So she's on the top. Now I'm at the bottom, Daddy, in speech marks, because that's literally what the kids say all the time. Daddy, 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 literally 24/7. So that's why I'm there. I mean, the only real placing that means anything is the crown at the top, because she's the queen. So that's why she's at the top. Everything else is just, put in place. So on the left-hand side, we have Korean, and on the right-hand side, we also have Korean. On the left-hand side, it says PNT, which means sassy. Okay.
Okay.
Is
that for Zaire or Kida?
Nah, that's for Kida. That's for Kida. And on the right-hand side, it says Umsig, which means food, which is for Zaire. So for Kida, the reason why I wrote that is because she is very sassy at the moment, but in a good way. It's showing her character. She is coming out of her shell. She's, it's amazing to see the personality coming out. And I just, she's definitely going to be in some form of performing arts or something like that. But I just, love it. And Zaire, the reason why I put food is because that is one of the most things he cares about. Literally from morning to night he has a schedule. Breakfast, morning snack, lunch, middle snack, dinner. Like literally, that's it.
And then pudding.
2:30 comes. 2:30 comes. Middle snack. He knows. It's 2:30, Daddy. That's him. And people may be asking, why have I written it in Korean? So the reason why both of them are written in Korean is because both of them love BTS. Literally, they spend all day on YouTube watching BTS, singing BTS, dancing like BTS. They spend all day running around the house singing in Korean. Like, Zaire will be in his room, you could just hear him spitting in Korean. Like, it's the most funniest but amazing thing, because at the same time, it means that my children have now, become fans of something, and it's an amazing thing to see, because I'm a fan of wrestling, and I don't hide that. I used to, but I don't. And the fact that they don't, and they're just, yes, this is what I like, and they'll be anywhere and they'll be spitting Korean and they don't business. I love it. I absolutely love it. So this is my flag, my family coat of arms, and I hope I named it well.
Very good.
And the thing that's really good,
that.
like you said there, is there are a lot more kids that are more open with the things that they're into. The world is a lot more diverse and open. When we were younger, you'd get a lot of people that would take digs if you watched certain cartoons and things like that. But actually, you've got tons of kids that are into different animes and things like that. And you've got rappers adding bars about different anime characters and things. So it's a lot more acceptable to be into loads of things. And yeah, this whole Korean pop thing, for me, still like baffles me as a person. I like to break down lyrics. And a lot of it, obviously, unless you go and find your translations, a lot of it you don't know what you're saying, but it's the rhythm at the same time.
at the same time, a majority of Korean groups now, they sing in both English and Korean. So what they'll
Okay.
do is they'll sing the verse in Korean and then say the same thing in English after.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, so would have mix and match. So yeah, I watched the documentary on K-pop. So
Kinney does research. Okay, no, I like that, Kinney. So I haven't necessarily gone for one as symbolic as that, but this is what I made, and so
Kinney's.
you've got to describe this, Kenny. Okay?
okay.
Don't know how well you can see it.
Okay, so we do see a hashtag Team Clarko at the top, and then we have beautiful caricatures of his family. You can see Jace with a nice, top bun. And then you can see his lovely wife, Nicola, on the other end, which is really well drawn. And then in the middle, he has both of his children, Jess and Jada. Pull it back a bit, Jace. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you see the customary mole on Jason's face. I think Jason's done a really, really good job there. Yeah. So, Jace, take it away.
So with this one, when I was creating it, I'm not very good at drawing, and so part of the thing for me was trying to not make it offensive, because you know when you're drawing people, you don't want to upset anyone with the way that they think you see them. So that was like one side of it. I tried to make it as well, kind of show that Jada's got quite a lot of volume to her hair. So do I. Nicola's got blue eyes. The girls have got blue eyes. I've tried to capture some of the things. Jess has got like Nicola's hair and the blue eyes. I tried to make mine and Jess's head shape a bit similar as well, just to show that although the kids are very different, we share similarities. You know, I've even tried to make Jada's nose the same as my nose and sort of bits like that. I gave Nicola some eyelashes. She's the only one with eyelashes apparently in our family. But yeah, it just kind of showed it, and I think if I wasn't so stressy about trying to get things right, you know, it'd be good to get things in there that the kids do enjoy, because like I said earlier, Jess is really into like Minecraft and stuff, and Jada's really got like this massive like care inside and helping Nicola with like a child minding. Nicola's like one of the most nurturing people I know. You know, look at her job that she does, and all the things that she does for us. But I kind of wanted to kind of strip it back a bit and show our four faces. That's our unit. And yeah, that was my drawing. Joe, I'm waiting for this masterpiece. Well. I'm waiting for this.
You're putting a lot of pressure on me. I'm not great at drawing people at all, although I'm all right at drawing, and that's why I didn't draw people. So this is my drawing.
Do you know what? Yeah, I like this. So what we've got here is we've got a bear in the middle, stood on his hind legs, looking quite alert. On his shoulder, I believe it is a koala.
That's right, yeah.
Just down by one leg, it looks like a bit of a wolf.
Yep.
The other leg it looks like a fox with possibly like a red panda.
Red panda, there we go. Yeah.
And then we have a dolphin who is half poking out of a pool of water next to them. Do you want to explain each of these animals, Joe?
No. Yeah, of course I will. So obviously I'm the bear, I'm Papa Bear, I'm the bear. It's my job to look after my family, my children, you know, keep them safe, protect them, be alert. So that's me right there. And then all of the children, I kind of thought about kind of parts of their characteristics and about what it is about them. So my youngest, Malachi, his favorite animal is koalas. And he's also he loves to cuddle up. He loves to be climbing on me and on me all the time. And he's very, you know, affectionate like that. So he's like my little koala. I always call him my little koala bear. And he loves koalas. He's got my koala Teddy from when I was a child, which he always keeps with him, which is really nice. And then the next eldest, Shavea, is the red panda. So red pandas are fairly solitary, but they also can be quite fun. So Shavea is somebody who has a small circle of friends and she likes to keep to herself. She's not, she's quite happy with her own company, but she can also be really funny and do really goofy things at times as well. Next up is Tasia, who's the next eldest, and she is the wolf because she's fiercely protective. She's very loyal and protective of her family and her siblings especially, and will always, you know, stand up for what she thinks is the right thing. And then Maisie, last but not least, who's my eldest, I went for the dolphin because dolphins are very compassionate, and that's something that Maisie shows in abundance, is compassion and empathy for others. So it's my little family of, my little pride.
I like the way you represented that. That's really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks very
Definitely. I
much.
think you've done really well, especially with your illustrations and the meanings behind them, man. You've done really
Thanks,
well.
man. Well, I was trying to think of how to avoid drawing people.
Did you?
Yeah.
Basically.
Did you guys find while doing that? Did you consult your family with what you were writing or get ideas from them?
No, I didn't
Have
know.
they seen it?
Yeah, sure. I walked in today and was like, "Wait, did Zaire do this, or did you do this?" Then I
So,
said, "Oh no, I did it," and just explained why, why I was doing it.
so I sat and I was doing mine while sat in the living room whilst we were watching some TV, and the thing that was a bit of pressure was the girls looking over my shoulder at the same time. But bless them, they're just like, "Oh, you're such a good drawer, Daddy. That looks so amazing. Oh, that looks really good. Oh, I like the way you've done that. That's so good, Daddy." The thing is as well, is I felt a bit more liberal with doing my own face, and what I found myself doing was whilst I was like, I drew the kind of potato head shape. Then I done my curls, and I said to the girl, "Should I go for the mushroom or the bunny tail?" They're like, "Bunny tail." So I'm like, "Cool." Got the hair tied up in the picture, and then for my moles, I was like touching my face to try and line up like the key ones to put them on there. But yeah, it was quite nice to do. I think sometimes just stopping and doing something like that. That's why they say things like colouring is really good for stress relief and I can't think what the word is. What's it called? Like the meditation, mindfulness. It's really
Mindfulness,
good for
yeah.
like mindfulness and things like that. And yeah, I don't do much colouring or anything like that, but it was good to sort of sit there for those few moments and kind of draw and get into that.
I'm really glad you set it because I really like drawing, but I never draw. So I had to draw, and I left it till 7 o'clock this evening, but I had to do it. So I just sat down, and it was actually really therapeutic, like you said. It was really nice to just draw, and I had a YouTube on the telly. Do you know what I mean? Just watching a show, like a game show kind of thing, like that I watch, and a podcast kind of thing. And I was just drawing, and it was really nice. And I forget, I don't take time for myself like that. So I enjoyed that one, Jace. That was good.
Yeah, it was similar to me. Like I'm horrible at drawing. I'm really bad at drawing, and I've always wanted to be good at it. And it was a challenge, and I enjoyed everyone knows I love a challenge, so I enjoyed the challenge. And now I've done it, I felt like, you know what, I'm gonna try something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try actually try and draw in something else, and not just do it by myself. Get the kids involved as well, because I know Zaire, he's such a perfectionist, but he loves to draw as well. So yeah, that'll be definitely something I'll be doing with them more.
So sticking with creativity, what we're going to do next week. I'm setting the homework for next week. I take
Okay.
so much time thinking of them. I thought of it since showing my picture. Now, the homework that we're going to do, sticking with the creativity, I want us to write a poem. That's literally it. That is your thing, poem. Write about whatever you want, whatever you like, anything you want to do it on. You can do it in whatever format. It could be a haiku, can be what's it called, acrostic, whatever you want. But yeah, we'll bring some poetry next time round. So at least again, we're spending some time creating something, reflecting on something, and yeah, see what we bring next week.
Mm-hmm.
Sound
Cool.
good?
I'm up for that. Yeah, I'm
Yep,
up for that.
yep.
Okay.
I'm really up for it.
Awesome. Just want to quickly, we've had a message come in. Somebody has spoke about K-pop standards, and they feel that K-pop standards, unfortunately, they feel are bad because they basically starve themselves, have surgery to look good, and as people who are supposed to be looked up to, sometimes they set very bad examples. Now, I'll start with my opinion, where I agree that those are bad standards, I think that it doesn't just apply to K-pop. There were some people, I'm not sure which Kardashian it is, but there's been pictures up of how her face has changed again. And there's like 4 different photos of how she's changed throughout time of her getting these surgeries. And people buy their products and buy beauty products by certain members of that family to look a certain way, when actually it's money that's been spent to look that way. Not necessarily that they've spent ages doing the right diet and exercise and things like that.
That's an interesting comparison, Jace, because I don't disagree with you, but I think in K-pop it's so standardized where it's expected for you to be a success in K-pop. You have to do that, where I feel like although social pressures have probably added to the Kardashians, they have that choice. They are rich and famous, and they've made choices in that way where there are K-pop artists who are literally being carried off live during performances because they've collapse from heat exhaustion and stuff like that. So I'm not saying like I disagree, but I do think they're slightly different. I think there's different pressures, and I think
But even
K-pop
with
is
the
not the best for that.
comparison, yeah, here the comparison's like incorrect, or there's a ambiguity to it. But it's the same with when you get things like people that are dancers and trying to make it in dance, or even look at singers.
Models.
When you've watched, when you look back, thankfully the modelling world has changed somewhat. But when you think back to when we were younger and it was all this size 0 stuff, nobody had to be size 0. There's a lot more people kicking
Yeah.
the door in with these like fuller figures or different body types and things like that. But yeah, I just think that it's my question that I guess I would put to you, Kenny, is with consideration to these kind of standards. I guess your kids have your kids mentioned how those guys look and their image at all?
No. So, I mean, I've done a lot of research on this because, I'm into Korean culture, I'm into Japanese culture and all that stuff. So watching that documentary, it was, opened my eyes a lot to, what happens. I mean, the K-pop industry is a massive, massive, industry in Korea, and they have got so many different groups. And the people who own, and the production agencies and things like that, there is a standard and there is something that, they have to adhere to. Like, you can't have a girlfriend and you have to be like a triple threat. So you have to be able to sing, dance, like all these different things. So I know what you mean in terms of comparison when it comes to what modeling used to be like. You have to be this tall and this and all of that. And it's a way out for people. A lot of people, some people can sing, some people can't, but it's that it's almost like what Simon Cowell and his groups and stuff used to be, very manufactured. It's a manufactured thing. But the kids, they haven't seen the behind the scenes of all of that stuff. They see all of them as individuals, especially when it comes to BTS. They know all their names, they know them as individuals, they know what they like, they know what they don't like, all those kind of stuff, because they watch, a lot of their stuff on YouTube. So they only know what they see. And what we allow them to see, I suppose, and it keeps them, it keeps it innocent, and they just see them as artists, as a group who sometimes sings together, sometimes sing by themselves and have the individual projects, but still come back together. And I think, although certain examples behind the scenes, they set a bad example, and the production nights and stuff. At the same time, one thing I am seeing with my children is that they're seeing these people be so creative in so many different ways, and also that togetherness as them as a group, that they have each other, because through all the videos that they watch on YouTube, there's an understanding there of that. So I'm just glad that they're not able to see the bad side of it. And as they get older, we will have those conversations when questions have been asked. But for now,
That's what I was going to ask, Kenny, because I think I fully respect what you're saying. At what age is it an age, or at what point do you think you would start discussing with them the darker side to the industry in regards to that, if they were still fans in however many years' time? Like, what age do you think?
I would discuss it with them now. I mean, if they ask the question, I would discuss it with them in an age appropriate way, but they haven't asked the question because they're not interested in that. They're just interested in what's the new song that BTS has brought out. They're also looking at videos of like how long is one of the BTS members singing? Like, they're properly in there, one of them, So it's so I like that they keep it at that level.
And they're young, that's fair.
Yeah,
I get that.
Okay, so let's move on to something that's been happening quite recently. The whole world must be aware of it by now. People that are watching our broadcast as it goes out, they're using the internet, so they must be aware of what's going on. Those that are listening in are avid BCFM listeners, so again, they will know what is going on. But George Floyd is a man who is one of, unfortunately, a long list of people who have been mistreated by the police. And when comparisons are drawn up, a lot of it comes down to the thing that stands out is that it is another black man who's been killed by a white police officer in America. And
it's murder. Yeah.
This has gone on to lead loads of different conversations, and lots of it has been around people feeling that some people feel that it's become a race thing of white versus black, whereas there's an argument people are saying no, it's not white versus black, it's everyone versus racism. There's also conversations going on where some influencers have been feeling attacked if they haven't put out a post immediately about the situation, or there are some people who are feeling like their fans are having a go at them for not saying the right things. And I think there's kind of a lot going on there, but I think with our platform, with Dadcast, the thing I want to ask you boys, and I guess Joe, your kids are a bit older, Have you guys spoken to your children about what has been going on? Because we spoke about our bubbles before and how we all live in our bubbles. My girls are aware of what's gone on. I mentioned it to them about how, this man had been killed by the police, and unfortunately it is something that happens. And we were sort of talking, it was very brief. I didn't want to, it's that thing of like, you don't want to scare the kids and things like that, but I want them to kind of know what is going on in the world, and as they grow up, they will find out more. But yeah, Kinney, how much do your kids know?
They don't know. They don't know anything. The reason why they don't know anything is because, as a black man and as a black person, I will have to have the talk with the children. Right now isn't that time to have the talk with them. If they have questions, I will answer those questions. But there's going to be a time when I need to have the talk, and I'm not ready for them to. I'm not ready to have that talk with them just yet. It's a bit too soon. There is other ways that we can have that talk, and there's other ways that we talk about, as a black person, the things that we endure and the way people look at us in certain ways. But I haven't fully gone into the full talk yet. I haven't shielded them from what's happening. They just haven't, I just decided I'm not going to speak to them about it, and they haven't seen anything on the news or anything like that. So they, they haven't talked about it. And it's not a case of shielding them from this, because I do not want to shield them from it. What I do want to do as a parent is to make sure, that this is done carefully and considerately, and that it's something that I want to do when I do it as a parent, and not for someone else to, tell me when I need to do it, or, for them to indicate, okay, now's the time you need to have this chat with your child. No, it's not that time. And at the same time, I am aware that, there's certain things that they do see. I've had certain conversations with like Keeda, for instance, who has noticed that majority of her classmates, they are white and they have long straight hair, and why she doesn't have straight, and all that stuff. We've had those talks and things like that, but we've just kept it there. I haven't had any talks with Zaire whatsoever about, even close to what I need to talk to him about, you know what I mean? So it will come. It will come soon, especially for Zaire, because he's 8. But right now, it's too soon. But I will answer questions if they ask.
And yeah, I need to be careful what I say, just because the kids are right there. It's that thing for me as a mixed man. My wife is white, and my children are both very light. And times like this do make me think, how are they going to feel as time goes on if people that are darker, who are mad at white people, because there are people out there who are literally mad at white people, what kind of attitude are they going to come at my children with? And that's something that kind of I do question. I do apologise, because I would like to go into it more, but again, I have to be mindful of where I'm sat right now. My children are just a door away. But Joe, how have you kind of felt? Because your kids are older, so they're more aware and able to get hold of information that you're not aware of necessarily.
Yeah. So, it's Maisie's the eldest, and I haven't spoken to her yet simply because I haven't had her since it's happened. Obviously it was this weekend that everything happened, and I'm having her on Friday. I'm picking up on Friday now. She's very aware of injustices. She's been on Black Lives Matter marches with me in the past, and she's very vocal on that. But I haven't spoken to her specifically about George Floyd and the fact that he was murdered on camera. Tasia, I have spoken to her at length about it. Tasia is 13 years old. She is mixed but of dark complexion. She gets a lot of prejudices that any black person will face in our society. She has faced them, she's seen them, and she's aware, and she's very angry and very frustrated. I'm trying to help her to find the words to communicate these things. Now, me as a white person who has benefited from white privilege, I have the responsibility of educating myself. It's down to me to read. It's down to me to research. It's down to me to make sure I'm able to educate my children who are not white and be the best I can be with the knowledge I've got, because there's so much ignorance out there. Tasia was talking to me about comments. She's so frustrated about the reprisal of all lives matter, and trying to talk to her about helping her to express the way that she feels, because we know that all lives do matter. And there's some analogies that, you know, I've used with her that I've got from the internet. Like, you know, if the fire department came to put out a fire, they wouldn't put water on the house 3 doors down from the house that was burning. And someone, well, yeah, but all houses matter. Well, they do, but right now there's one that's on fire. So trying to help her with analogies that help her to break it down, but also trying to help her to understand that you can't fight every argument online, and people who comment online are hidden behind a screen. I've seen the most ignorant, racist, hateful, hurtful comments from people, and so has Tasia, and she's come to me with it, and she just feels frustration. So it is difficult. I think it's very difficult being a parent of, you know, a child who is mixed race, who witnesses it, who sees it and understands the injustice and feels the frustration, and knows that she will be faced with other prejudices around just because of the color of her skin as well. So it's a difficult one. We have a lot of very good conversation, and I'm picking her up after the show, so I'm sure there'll be a lot more in-depth conversation about it. But yeah, she's now, Shavea hasn't really spoken to me about it, but Shavea's quite insular, and Malachi's not. And similar to what Kinney was saying, I will have those conversations with him. We have had some conversations in the past, but this specifically I haven't spoken to him about. But again, I haven't had my kids since it happened. It's because me and Tasia have spoken online. So yeah, I could go on, but that's kind of where we're at, parent-child kind of wise, I guess.
Now, on Dadcast, we, as of the time of recording this, we have not put anything out in the ether around kind of the things that have happened. So my question to you boys is, having all the things that people talk about, how, you know, it's important to use your influence and things like that, do you boys feel like we need to share something like that online, or our stance and people knowing our stance should be enough to know that we don't have to post it online? Because what I don't want to become is, some people do it as a trending thing, and the thing that's really frustrating, this is my opinion, and it's not a representation of Dadcast necessarily, or representation of BCFM or whatever, but I feel that too many people do this as a trend. This has happened. It is disgusting what has happened. It will be George Floyd, like, rest in power. 2-3 weeks time, loads of those people will be on to the next thing. The majority of the internet will be on to the next thing, the next outrage. And that's what really upsets me. And that's why when certain things happen, you know, I don't tend to post things about it that much. I'll share things of interest to me, but I don't add my 2 cents or share a post, because I don't want to be seen as a person who's doing a dedication for a trend.
Yeah. I think you know, we're using our platform like this. We're using our platform to have these discussions as it relates to what our platform is for. And this is what we're doing now. You know, it relates to, you know, not just George Floyd, but it's, you know, Black Lives Matter, and how, as people who have, you know, black, brown, you know, children, mixed children, how we are going to do, you know, talk to our children about these things as they get older. It's relevant, and we're using our platform in this way, not necessarily putting a post up or, you know, joining on that bandwagon. No, we're doing it through our platform. People are freely enough to comment whilst we're talking, and, you know, put their 2 cents in, email us, all that kind of thing, so we can continue these discussions properly and not have to do it in such a way where people are hiding behind screens and throwing all this stuff out there. And I think we're doing it in the right way. I don't know if you agree, Joe.
I kind of disagree, but not in a big way. Not like I disagree with what you're saying. I believe that any platform should be used. You know how I feel about politics. You know how I feel about worldviews. I'm very vocal on my Facebook at all times about all kinds of things, whether that is about political things, whether that's about racial injustice, whether it's about other injustices, whatever, wars going on in the world and all sorts. I'm very vocal. So I've never felt like I was jumping on a trend, but I have shared a lot. But I also feel like I have a like on my personal Facebook, I have a responsibility, being white, to challenge other white ignorance. It's not for black people to educate white people about racism. It's about, for me as a white man who benefits from white privilege, to educate myself so I can challenge it when my black friends are grieving. I've got friends who've got family in America. I've got friends who are worried about their black family in America. It shouldn't be for them to be trying to argue with ignorant racism. So I feel like platforms should be used. I would use our platform way more. There's things I haven't been able to say because of BCFM's political neutrality, which is understandable, especially with the run up to election. You all know I was ready to speak my mind on that, and we couldn't go into detail. But I personally think that I'd like to do more. I'd like to post more. I think it's a great place to create conversation. I think we've got a really especially if you're looking at certain prejudices. If we're looking at racial prejudice, we've got a white man, a mixed race man, and a black man all together having a conversation. So we've got a really powerful platform where we can put views across that isn't, someone can't turn around and go, oh, well, it's a black guy with a chip on his shoulder, or it's a white guy just trying to get in and say the right thing. Like we've got three voices that can all echo the same thing. And I think we've got a powerful platform. I'd quite happily post more about these kind of things. I'm not necessarily talking about jumping on a bandwagon, but I think if you've got a platform, you should use it.
My point I was making as well, though, is that we're having these conversations. We are sharing our view and getting our point across. I was just more talking about the people that are putting just a post on their page.
Yeah.
So, for example, with you, Joe, people that have you on Facebook personally, they will see your stance, and it's not like it's a new thing. It's how you've always been. It was your character. It is who you are, and you will continue to do that. I just feel that some people become, and I don't mean to be offensive to people, but some people do become, in my opinion, part-time activists.
I agree.
It's that, and I don't ever want to put myself in a position where I then look like that. But then it's a bit like, am I then holding back in a way that I don't need to because I'm putting something on myself? And
I was sorry. I was just going to say, I know what you mean, but like I was saying, like, you know, us being able to have these conversations like this, where we can still have these conversations with people in a way where we're having an actual conversation and not just comments being thrown around. You know what I mean? Like we're actually talking and actually having a proper conversation. And I like that platform. Joe's right though. There is more. Yeah, there is more that we can do. But I also agree with Jace that you don't want to come come off like it's, you know, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I feel I understand as well, and I'm not saying that we're wrong for what we're doing, but I feel like if you know in your heart you're not jumping on a trend, I don't care what people think. People consume, like, I don't mean that in a horrible way. I love our listeners, I love our platform, but our platform follow us because of the people we are and the things that we do. And I know, Jace, that if you were to put something up about this, if anybody thought, oh, he's jumping on the trend, if anybody knew you, that wouldn't even be a question. I know in your heart it would never be about that. Do you see what I mean? So for me, it's like we've got that integrity between us. You know, like Sony have gone. This recently cancelled their 4th of June PlayStation 5 reveal, saying that they don't think it's the right time. They want to give other voices a platform that need to be heard right now, and then put up another Instagram thing about Black Lives Matter, and they've got so much backlash on Instagram for it, but fair play to them. They're speaking out about an injustice. So that's something I haven't really seen. I've seen a few things about Pride that Sony have done, but you know, to me, it didn't come across that they were jumping on a bandwagon. They were saying, we're not going to try and take the spotlight from this. And I feel like, it's a bigger conversation, but I'd happily post some more stuff. And you know me, I'll happily get political on our Facebook and Instagram. That's fine by me.
Right. Unfortunately, our call is due to cut off in the next minute. I do just want to say to anybody that is listening or anybody that is viewing, you know, our thoughts are going out to anyone who is affected by what is going on at the moment. There's a lot of people who are looking at demonstrations and things like that, and I'm all for that. Please just make sure we're looking after each other and yourselves and doing everything the right way. Don't ever give anyone an opportunity to look down on you negatively. Just make sure you're standing for what you believe in, but stay classy, I think, is the thing that even when it's really hard in adversity, stay classy is kind of my view on that. Boys, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to hearing your poems next week. Take it steady. There's nothing else to say except for fatherhood
doesn't come with a manual.
Hey, we got it.
Peace.